Welcome to What's Bothering Rashi, Parshas Nosoi, Tovshin Pei-Vov. In Eretz Yisrael, we read the Shabbos Parshas Nosoi. Outside Eretz Yisrael, it's still Shavuos. So we'll say a short idea on this week's Parsha on Eretz Yisrael Nosoi and on Megillas Rus, which we read on Shavuos. Parshas Nosoi begins with the counting of the second family of the tribe of Levi. Last week's Parsha, Parshas Bamidbar, we counted all of the Jewish nation except for one tribe, the tribe of Levi. They are counted separately. And at the end of Bamidbar, last week's Parsha, we started with one of the three families of Levi, Kehat. And this week we start with the second family. Count the sons of Gershon. So the pasuk says, Noso Yisroish b'nei Gershon, Gam heim leveis avoisom lemishbechoisom, Perek Daled, pasuk Chav Beis. Count the number of the sons of Gershon, also they, according to their families. Says Rashi, Naso et rosh b'nei Gershon gam hem. Says Rashi, Kemo shetziviticha al b'nei Kehat. As I commanded you regarding the sons of Kehat, lirot, to see, kama yesh mehem shehigiu lichlal avodah. How many are there in the family of Gershon that reached the age of work? So what's bothering Rashi? So the Mizrahi, Rabbi Eliyahu Mizrahi, explains that Rashi is focusing on the words gam hem, also they. The word gam, the word also, which always means also, but what exactly it means depends on the place it is placed in the sentence. In English also, it makes a difference. For example, the following two sentences. One sentence it would be, also I went to the park. Or, I also went to the park. There's a difference. When I say also I went to the park, that means someone else went to the park and also I went. But if I say I also went to the park, it means I went to the store and I also went to the park. So depending where the position of the word gam also is in the sentence, it could change the meaning of the sentence. And that is what was bothering Rashi here. Because if it just meant count also the sons of Gershon, it should have said Naso gam et rosh b'nei Gershon. But it doesn't say that. It says Naso et rosh b'nei Gershon gam hem levet avotam lemishpechotam. Therefore, says Rashi, it doesn't mean count also the sons of Gershon, but it means count the sons of Gershon also in the way you counted the previous family of Levi, which means if all the nation were counted from the age of 20 to 60, the Leviim were counted from the age of 30 to 50. Why? Because we counted those who are eligible to work in the Mishkan, which is from the age of 30 to 50. So therefore here says Rashi, don't only count them, but count them also the way you counted the first family of Levi, which means, like the next pasuk says, Mi ben shloshim v'mala ve'ad ben chamishim shana. Now I just want to say something on Megillas Rus, which is also connected to the same idea, the word gam, the word also. In Megillas Rus Perek Aleph, pasuk Hey, it says, Vayamusu gam shnehem, machlon v'chilyon. So we know the story, Naomi, Elimelech, her two sons left Eretz Yisrael, and then her husband died, Vayamot Elimelech, and then Machlon and Chilyon, her two boys, die also. And the pasuk says, Vayamusu gam shnehem, machlon v'chilyon. Says Rashi, gam shnehem, mahu gam, Batchila laku b'mamonam. First, they were punished with their money, their possessions. Umetu gmalehem umiknehem, their camels and their animals. Ve'achar kach metu gamhem, and then afterwards also they died. So Hashem first punishes a person's possessions, takes it away from him, and if he still doesn't do tshuva, he punishes themselves also. So Rashi again was bothered by the word gam. As he says, mahu gam. It says, vayamutu gam shnehem machlon v'chilyon. they also died. Says Rashi, what does that mean also? Something else died. Their animals died first, and then also they died. But wait a second. Why does Rashi say that? Why does Rashi say also is referring to their animals? Their father died, Elimelech. So the simple meaning would mean, Vayamutu gam shnehem, which means not only their father died, but gam shnehem, machlon v'chilyon, they also died. Why does Rashi say the gam, the also, is referring to their animals, to their camels, and their mikneh? So if you read the pasuk, not only the word gam is difficult, the word gam shnehem. Why does it say shnehem? It could have said vayamutu gam machlon v'chilyon, and then I would really say not only the father died, but also his sons died. But it says gam shnehem. Vayamutu, and they died, gam shnehem, also both of them, machlon v'chilyon. So says Rashi, gam shnehem means also them, there was something else that happened to them, not their father. Which means not only did they die themselves, but something else died that belonged to them, lishnehem. What is that? They're animals. And therefore Rashi says, gam shnehem, the also is not referring to not only the father, but also the children. It's referring to gam shnehem, not only they themselves died, but something else that was of shnehem died. What is that? They're animals. The animals died before they died. So that's another commentary on the word gam and the words next to gam. What is also referring to? What is the word gam referring to? I'll just end with a nice idea. Rashi says their camels died and their mikneh, their flock. If you look at the Medrash, it says their horses, susehem, v'chamorehem, and their donkeys and their camels. Why does Rashi pick out gemalim and mikneh? So I think the Havasi on one of the first Rashi says, Rashi doesn't usually do this, but he says that Rashi, again, is referring to the word gam, and the abbreviation gam is gimel and mem. So Rashi picks the two words that start with a gimel, gimalim, their camels, and mem, their mikneh. So since again he's referring and explaining the word gam, he takes out of the Medrash the two types of animals that are included in the abbreviation of the word gam. And he says, Umetu gam shnehem, umahu gam shnehem, batchila laku b'mamunam, umetu gimalehem, the gimel, and miknehem, the mem. Have a wonderful Yom Tov and a wonderful Shabbos.